go get them again.
Welcome back to the Robe Zoe channel. I'm your host Mark, and on the docket today we have an unboxing first impression video on the brand of Gucci. This is Tom Ford era Gucci. This one called Gucci Rush for Women. Yes, I took out my Gucci Rush for men, discontinued, of course, and I haven't unboxed technically this on my channel yet. I bought this from on Facebook actually. Somebody sold a partial bottle of this for a pretty penny. I paid good money, but we're not going to talk about Rush for Men just yet on my channel. It is in the docket to be unboxed and spoken about. So I haven't really properly worn this thing yet, unfortunately. So all the people that are out there, they're like, oh my God, Gucci Rush. Yes, it's going to come on the channel at some point. But today we are going to delve into Rush for Women, which I believe is still on the market. So it's still sold well, obviously. But I'm looking forward to this. I wanted to see what this line can do in the women's aisle. And we're going to see. And I believe this is part of the Tom Ford era. So this could be actually really, really, really good, depending. Now, before we get into anything, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button. Smash it. Just for me. Just this once. No, more than once, but do it one at a time. Much appreciated. To my returnees, welcome back. Love you all. And to the men that are checking out this, or the women out there that are interested in Rush for Men, yes, it will be coming out, but there's a little spoiler for all of you. Yes, I own Rush now. It is in my collection. I've had it for several months. It's just sitting there on the other side of the camera where all my unboxings need to do, and they're piling up. I'm doing a lot of Frag Flex stuff and just my own. It just keeps piling up. I keep buying, and I need to put a dent into that pile over there, so I can finally start wearing them. So let's take a look at the no breakdown on Gucci Rush for Women and see what we got here. So in the note breakdown, nothing too crazy. Highly floral, peach, gardenia, freesia, coriander, rose, jasmine. So we got a little bit of you know, fruity nuance from the peach, I guess. In the base, we got patchouli, vanilla, and vetiver. Released in 1999. That is definitely Tom Ford era. Nose, All-Star Perfume, Michel Almarac. Oh, I haven't said that name in a while. Wonder what Almarac is up to these days. Like, there's a lot of All-Star Perfumiers that I've been saying a lot their names, like Maurice and all that. Like, a lot of the Perfumiers that I grew up with, some of them are still kicking around, but Almarac, I haven't heard his name in a while. Okay, well, let's unbox this. This comes with a sleeve, I believe. This is the actual bottle, plastic. It's just like the men's counterpart. So it's just a sleeve. Oh, this bottle has seen better days. You can see why it's a returned product. The atomizer is not, oh man. Well, if you see this video, it means the atomizer actually works. The atomizer is dislodged. Now, I might be able to lodge it back in. We'll see. This is 100% plastic. 100% all plastic. Crazy. So let's get into it. Let's delve into it. Let's see if this atomizer works. Oh, it's there. I'm just going to put it on skin just in case this thing gives up on me. And yeah, it's leaking because of it, but at least I'm getting a video out of this. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, we're ready? Yeah, we are ready. Okay. And Gucci doesn't have the best personally, it doesn't have the best reputation with me. We'll see. A lot of people love Gucci fragrances. I'm kind of lukewarm. Gucci's kind of like, meh. Ever since Tom Ford left, they started discontinuing stuff, and I'm just like, your best scents are getting discontinued. What are you guys doing over there? You drunk? Bring back Gucci Put On 1 and 2, by the way. The simplistic scents, but they're great. So this has a little bit of a peachy hue, but it's very interesting that Coriander, I think, is doing a lot of, I wouldn't say the heavy lifting, but it's making it interesting, and some soft florals back in that. So the peach and the florals kind of intermingle here and make something very interesting. You know, it takes Tom Ford and again, he's not the nose, Almerac is, but as a creative director, to make like, this is a typical fruity floral note breakdown. Like, okay, a peachy thing with a little fruit, and you get a bunch of florals, right? And, you know, boring, right? No. The florals and the peach and the coriander together kind of make, and I don't know if it's because of the plastic bottle, but I'm kind of thinking like I'm smelling something plasticky, like very not authentic florals here. Not at all. I feel like it's the gardenia, the freesia, and the peach mingling together and kind of giving it this weirdness. There's vanilla in here that's giving out like almost like a milky hue. And that goes with the peachy tone. So it's kind of a white, like watercolor-esque peach with like milkiness and some kind of florals, like a very watercolor-esque. Like, and I was saying this just earlier, it was just like what Tom Ford can do as a creative director for you. He can make a boring note breakdown like this. You look at this note breakdown, I would have said boring. And he makes it come to life in a way that I feel is much more artistic than your run-of-the-mill with the same note breakdown. This might not be for everyone. It's not, because it's different. But that's the appeal. I'm getting a weird imagery. Okay, guys, I'm going into this weird imagery mode that sometimes I do with some sense. This makes me think of eating fuzzy peaches. Everybody knows about fuzzy peaches. If you don't, go check out Google. I don't know if it's available worldwide, but fuzzy peaches is a candy. It makes me even think of like the peach candy that's like the circular peach candy. You're at a roller rink in the late 90s, which is empty. Empty, right? It's the end of that era, right? This thing is still kicking around. But there's a few people in it, and it's bound to close any day now. They're not putting any money in this roller rink. Like, you know, they obviously not as popular back in the 90s. And there's a girl there that keeps going there. Maybe you're a worker there. And super cute, right? You got a crush on her, and she's hot, basically. But she's the only one going there. There's nobody else. And she just goes there and listens to house music, right? And just vibes out. And her outfit is like definitely not from that era, like the 90s. It's like something like she goes vintage shopping, but it works. That's what this smells like. Trust me. It just has like, I'm thinking about like, I'm just thinking about all the plastic, right? The skates, the roller rink. All over the place. Like none of the carny like food or anything like that, but it has a old school mentality to it. But it feels like it's in the wrong era. That's why I'm thinking like late 90s, like this thing's about to close. There's a little bit of dustiness. She's wearing like a girly perfume. You can smell a little bit of that. There's fuzzy peaches. That's her favorite snack, we'll say. Sometimes I go places with perfume. Don't ask. That's what it reminds me of. Any fragrance, and this thing's dribbling like crazy. So this bottle I cannot keep, unfortunately. Usually when I decant these things for Frag, like this is going to be, well, I'm going to have to destroy the bottle, basically. There's no way. Well, maybe I can decant it. I'm going to take this thing off and see what happens. But not bad. Like I could see why maybe this one didn't get discontinued, just because highly synthetic in regards to the florals. I don't think anything would be banned by FRIA. You never know though, but I think it's a pretty simplistic composition. But I think it's just the way Almerac put everything together, and Tom Ford's creative genius made it more interesting than it really should be, if that makes sense. I love discovering this Tom Ford era with YSL and Gucci, where he was at the helm for both brands. He was just knocking out fragrances for both brands like a boss. And he killed it. Man, Now this one is available at Fragflex, and I think it's still available, like not just at discounters. I think it's still available. I'm pretty sure I saw Gucci Rush at it might have been a duty free or something. And I'm like, they still make that for women's? It might have been in Europe when I was in Europe. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, obviously getting it from Fragflex. I'm going to be decanting after this video to decant this thing, but it might be available there probably for a really good price as well. You can use my code TFG10. You get 10% off site-wide, so you don't have to purchase this. And that coupon code, keep it, because it right now has no expiry to it. As much as I'm decanting for this discounter, that code is going to be alive, which is always a good thing. Now that you heard my take, I'd love to see yours in the comments below. Good, bad, and the ugly. And yeah, you can bash this as much as you want. I can see why some people won't like this fragrance, because there is some kind of, and again, look at my imagery. Kind of weird imagery, honestly. Yeah, and it's highly synthetic, but you got to kind of, I don't know, I just know what Tom can do. And I know a lot of Tom Ford's, like I've smelt a lot of him when he was creative director at certain brands. And I know where his thought process is with some stuff. And that's why I think I appreciate even more. A little bit, like a schmidden more, just because I know where it comes from. It comes from a good place. And that's probably why my review is a little more positive than maybe it should be, maybe. But there's nothing like, this doesn't smell like Aqualina did it, like a $5 brand, or like a Calvin Klein bargain bin scent. It has a little bit of that glow to it. And again, I do a lot of these designer fragrances, and any people that have been on my channel for years know that unboxings with designer brands, there's only a select few that I go into like some sort of imagery right away in an unboxing. Like in fragrance reviews, when I've had time with the fragrance, you'll get some sort of imagery from me, or stories or something like that, because they're there, because I've had time with it. But usually on first impressions, it's just like, okay, this is what I smell. This is the primaries, blended well. You know, I'm trying to give you as much information as I can. It usually doesn't go into story mode. So, which means this is a very good thing for the fragrance. And I feel like those kind of fragrances that have a story to tell that soon, it means this is a good thing. And as always, a great pour fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.